जबरदस्त जी। वॉलीबॉल, कभी सोचा था कि खवातीन वॉलीबॉल में, और इस तरह से वीडियो जिस तरह देखने के बाद हम अंदाजा लगा पा रहे हैं कि बड़ा रुझान हो रहा है अब।
बिल्कुल, वैसे ये न्यूज़ वैसे होनी नहीं चाहिए थी, लेकिन ये अच्छी बात है कि अब इस तरह की खबरें हम शामिल करते जा रहे हैं जहां खवातीन स्पोर्ट्स में आगे जा रही है। और यहाँ पर मैं सिर्फ क्रिकेट की बात नहीं कर रही, हम यहाँ पर सिर्फ फुटबॉल की बात नहीं करें, बल्कि हम वॉलीबॉल की बात करें, जो कि पाकिस्तान में उस तरह से प्रमोट नहीं की जाती। रुझान तो है, खेली जाती है अभी भी, लेकिन उस तरह से रुझान नहीं है, प्रमोट नहीं किया जाता।
लेकिन लड़कियों के लिए कितने मौके हैं, लड़कियां किस तरह इसको एज अ करियर लेकर चल रही हैं कि जी हम बस खेलेंगे,
तो लड़कियां ही हैं जो आगे लेकर चल रही हैं और लड़कियों को एम्पावर कर रही हैं, पाकिस्तानी फीमेल्स को एम्पावर कर रही हैं कि वॉलीबॉल में वो अपना करियर बना सकती हैं, इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे जाकर खेल सकती हैं। इस वक्त मैं एक इदारे की बात कर रही हूँ जो है एम्पावर स्पोर्ट्स एकेडमी, जिसकी फाउंडर हैं अलीशा जुनैद। अलीशा ने जो है वो इसकी प्रेसिडेंट भी हैं और वो इस पे काम कर रही हैं। इस इदारे की फाउंडेशन उन्होंने रखी और आगे लेकर चल रही है खवातीन को, पाकिस्तानी खवातीन को प्रमोट करी कि वो किस तरह से खेल सकती हैं।
नेशनल वॉलीबॉल टीम की
वो खुद प्लेयर भी है, बिल्कुल जी, वो खुद भी खेलती है और अब वो बाकी खवातीन को एम्पावर भी कर रही हैं। इसके अलावा जनाब ज़रलीना दुरैद हैं। ज़रलीना जो है वो हेड ऑफ लॉजिस्टिक्स है एम्पावर स्पोर्ट्स एकेडमी की। ये दोनों मिलकर पाकिस्तान में खवातीन को एम्पावर कर रही हैं, लड़कियों को एम्पावर कर रही हैं कि वो अपना करियर वॉलीबॉल में बना सकती हैं और उसको एक खेल के तौर पर, एक शौक के तौर पर भी आगे लेकर चल सकती हैं।
एक कोलैबोरेशन का जिक्र भी यहाँ पे कर लेते हैं। अमेरिकन वॉलीबॉल एजेंसी ब्रिंगिट मोशन, इसको रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं टिम कैली और उनकी बेटियां सियारा साथ मौजूद हैं, इनको वेलकम भी करते हैं। तो प्लेयर से गुफ्तगू आगाज करते हैं। अलीशा साथ मौजूद हैं। अलीशा, कैन यू प्लीज शेयर अ लिटिल बिट अबाउट एम्पावर स्पोर्ट्स एकेडमी?
Yeah, so Empower Sports Academy is a non-profit I started about a year ago, and its goal is to really focus on improving women's sports in Pakistan, starting at a grassroots level. So last year when I came here to play with the Pakistani national volleyball team, I realized that everyone here has so much potential and so much drive, and I really wanted to be able to give them the resources to reach their fullest potential, because right now there's so many girls who have such big dreams, but there's not a lot of resources in a lot of places for them to achieve that.
And Alisha, it's also because they don't have much opportunities and they don't have facilities here to play volleyball. So this is the biggest reason, I believe. So what are your plans to promote volleyball here in Pakistan?
So currently we're working a lot with the national team. We're working towards trying to be able to improve where they're at, but also at the same time, we're working with younger levels of people. We're really trying to get them up and running, and we're trying to be able to provide opportunities where anyone all over Pakistan can go play. We're going to set up courts and we're going to set up club systems so that wherever you are, you can play. And then at the same time, we'll work with the national team so people can really see what we're doing and we can grow volleyball all at the same time.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to Subse Aage, first of all. And you are doing a wonderful job. You are running your agency, American Volleyball Agency, Bringit Motion, right? So how do you plan to promote volleyball in Pakistan?
Well, I mean, to start, our idea is to kind of open the rest of the world's eyes to what we're trying to build here, and also offer an experience to the American girls to come somewhere new, learn about a different part of the world, and in doing that, I think we'll find ways to promote the sport.
And Tim, I believe in Pakistan, women face more challenges than men when it comes to practicing sports and volleyball, of course. So do you anticipate any difficulties in engaging and empowering women to participate in volleyball?
Yeah, there's challenges anytime you're traveling to a foreign country. I think, honestly, this will be one of the more challenging trips I've had just to build a team, mainly because the community at large in the States doesn't know much about Pakistan. The volleyball world knows virtually nothing about Pakistan. And what's been really eye-opening for me, and being here especially with my daughter, is seeing that the growth of women's sports is not as far behind as I would have expected. It feels much safer and much cleaner, and I don't know if it's the right term, but much more normal, let's say. And I think people will be really surprised about the opportunities here and what a great experience they can have. But most of the people that I'm speaking with so far and our volleyball community, the idea of going to Pakistan is just something that never would have entered their mind before this. and we've never really had that challenge before.
And Alisha, usually here in Pakistan, we can see that youngsters are not inclined towards volleyball. Here, I think that they have much craze about cricket. They are not much inclined towards volleyball. So how do you plan to change the mindset of youngsters?
Yeah, I feel like there's so many reasons people aren't naturally inclined to volleyball in Pakistan. One is because it's not very accessible of a sport. You can't really, there's not a lot of courts, not a lot of places you can play, whereas cricket, you can play anywhere, wherever. And it's also that currently cricket is such a big thing because they're going out and playing all these tournaments and games. And I think once we get our volleyball team, our national team playing abroad, a lot of youngsters will start to see that this is something they can pursue as well, and that there's a future for it within Pakistan. And also, as we slowly start to put in new courts and make safe spaces for people to come play, a lot more people would be willing to come and try it. And volleyball also isn't our only goal as Empower Sports Academy. We are starting with it, but I already know so many young Pakistani girls who want to play volleyball. They just don't know how or when.
Zerlina, what is your role in Empowered Sports Academy? Can you please elaborate?
So after seeing Alisha and all the work she was doing, I was really impressed. I've always played sports, so I thought this was really cool and the project was really interesting. I've always leaned more towards the medical side of things though, so I thought, what could I do to help empower? So I've been reaching out to local hospitals in Islamabad and Pakistan for general checkups, physical therapy, and even like psychological analyses for mental health and things like that. In general, in Pakistan, mental health isn't something that people focus on, especially for athletes. So I thought that would be great exposure for the girls, and all of this would be free for them. So I've been reaching out to hospitals for sponsorships and things like that.
And Tim, what is your perspective on the growth of Pakistani national volleyball team? What areas do you believe require improvements for their development, and what weaknesses should be addressed?
I can't speak too intelligently about this because I'm only just now learning about the national team. We were able to visit them the night before last for a little while. It's a small group of some of the better players, but not the full team training inside. We're going to be going actually this evening again to watch them to train more, and I look forward to seeing some more video and spending more time with the girls and the coaches. We're obviously coming from a region where the volleyball is just starting to be developed, and it's nice to see this momentum and the excitement, and you know, the folks at Empower and the job they're doing, bringing in people like Giovanni Guidetti from Turkey, the Italian coach in Turkey, getting Kevin Hamley involved from the University of Stanford, and some of the ideas of bringing these teams all together. We're clearly on a fast track to developing what's here. But my ability to speak specifically to what we have right now is limited.
What are your thoughts about the potential of volleyball in Pakistan?
We're talking about a country with 250 million people. The region is not historically famous for volleyball. You don't have a lot of extremely tall women from what I've seen so far, but there are a lot of Asian countries especially that once you get a good program going with good coaching and a community and a sports community that buys into it, I think with the amount of people that you have and the resources that I've seen here and the interest in volleyball in general, I think the sky's probably the limit. I mean, you just have to start working towards that goal and see how far you can go.
Alisha, why volleyball? Why not any other sports?
Yeah, well, I play volleyball. So for me, it was very easy to come here, join the volleyball scene, understand how the volleyball community in Pakistan works, and then really just start off there because I understand volleyball very well as a game. So for me, it's easier to start with something I already know and then use similar systems and expand to other sports.
And Alisha, you mentioned that you're going to work on grassroots level, right? So what are your plans? How are you going to target the deserved communities in Pakistan?
So we're really going to try to work to create more opportunities by providing them resources. We're going to start training coaches like former players or people who already have experience in volleyball on how to play. And then we're going to try to put them in more situations where they can get the opportunities. So for the younger kids, implementing a club system and having them really work towards an achievable goal, like having tournaments and games for them to play in so that they get excited about the sport. So we really want to start creating these small club systems and systems in schools where they can go and play against other people and learn and be excited about that.
Little Ciara is also here with us. So Ciara, have you already begun playing volleyball, or do you have any plans to start?
So growing up around my dad, it's just like been all volleyball, and he's been talking about starting like some soccer tours. That's been pretty exciting, but as of right now, everybody's been telling me that as I grow older, I'll start to like volleyball more. But as of right now, I really dislike volleyball as a sport. But I think it's great what my dad and everybody who's helping out the Empower Committee and what they're trying to do in Pakistan.
And Sarah, it's wonderful to witness the progress of little girl like you in sports, like especially in volleyball. So, Zerlina, what is the significance of empowerment of the women in the context of volleyball in Pakistan?
I think since volleyball hasn't been a massive thing in Pakistan, I think it's important. There's so much room to grow, especially for women in sports in general, but specifically in volleyball since it hasn't really been focused on the way other sports have, like cricket or even football. So I think it's really impressive what they're doing, and I think they've made so much progress, and I'm really proud of like all the work that they and all of us have been doing as well.
And Zerlina, you're also dealing with the logistics of the Empower Sports Academy. So what is your strategy for handling of the logistics of this initiative?
For me specifically, my role in it is to figure out the health side of things, what hospitals the girls can do, the checkups they can have that they normally wouldn't have access to freely. Things like that, and also just like the areas in which they play. I was really impressed by the sports complex. I think their facilities are really nice. So I've met the whole team. They're really sweet girls. They really are working towards something really good. So I'm really happy with everything.
Okay, Zerlina, since you're here, I would like you to address what weaknesses should be addressed since you know the ground realities.
I think the one thing that should really be improved is viewership. And I think with doing things like this, like how we're doing this interview and all, the more people we reach, the more people are going to want to watch and show up to their events and show up to their games. So the more people we involve, the better. Again, as I said, I think the mental health thing in sports in general is massive, and it's something that us as a nation should really like work on and improve, which is what I've been trying to do. So yeah.
And Sarah, what is your favorite place in Pakistan?
It was just, I think my favorite place was probably like seeing Lahore, and like driving around was really cool experience, and like seeing how everything was made and like all of the cool experiences. It was really fun to visit Lahore. That was probably my favorite place.
And Tim, what do you like the most about Pakistan?
I think Lahore is, I mean, it is a UNESCO heritage site, I know, but it's the type of place that as the Western world learns more about it, I think that's a major tourist draw. It's just up there with the Machu Picchus of the world, and really amazing spots with the fort and the walled city and all the different things there. And again, it was just surprising because it's not something that we know about as Americans.
Okay, let's talk about the cuisines of Pakistan, the famous cuisines of Pakistan. So what is your favorite food here?
My most favorite meal was probably just like the basic rice and chicken. I'm not very intrigued in the spice, or like I can't handle spice too well. But like when you're at breakfasts and like every meal that we had, chicken masala. Yeah. Chicken masala was always like, it was like really good, and like I don't know if this is a very good thing to share, but the mango cheesecake was very good. And then also just their mangoes in general. I love mangoes, and it was like they had them everywhere, and they were always so good and cold, and they were like really good.
So are you officially saying we have the best mangoes in the world?
Pakistan has the best mangoes in the whole world.
Thank you Zerlina, thank you Tim, thank you Ciara, thank you Alisha. एक ब्रेक की तरफ बढ़ेंगे, ब्रेक से वापस आएंगे, साथ रहिए.